During a journey, Xingzhou was trapped in the check.in space. After 100,000 years, the system will be fully charged and continue to traverse. At the beginning, I became the ancestor of the Xu family, coinciding with the family's crisis. Xingzhou took out his worst signed-in item to help his family get through the crisis. Years later, suddenly looking back. The world's first chamber of commerce, the world's first assassin organization, mercenary union. Wait, there are shadows of the Xu family behind everyone. Chapter 1. Signing in for 100,000 years and becoming an ancestor just after crossing the border. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lingwu Dao Domain. Zhenhuazu. The Great Zhou Dynasty. At the foot of a cliff, in a previously silent forest, a hand suddenly reached out from the ground, followed by another hand. Then, a young man sat up and looked around with a bewildered expression. This is coming out. Ah. Finally coming out. It's been 100,000 years. I, Xingzhou, have finally succeeded in crossing the continent. At the beginning of his journey, Xingzhou was fantasizing about killing all directions and reaching the pinnacle of his life, but unexpectedly, he was thrown a bucket of cold water by the system. Ding, the system's energy is insufficient, the journey has been terminated. The sound instantly deflated Xingzhou. However, the only thing that pleased Xingzhou was that the system's functions were still usable. The use of the system is very simple, which is to check in once a day and obtain any items, cultivate physical fitness, or characters. So Xingzhou began a dark and boundless check.in behavior in the system space. The initial check.in would also make Xingzhou very excited. As the frequency increased, Xingzhou also felt increasingly uninteresting. After all, besides waiting for check.in every day, there is nothing else to do. Then I set up automatic check.in and let the system put me into a deep sleep, waiting for the system to charge up before waking me up. So there was the scene just now. Ding, successful time travel. Please hurry to the Xu family in Qingyun City, bind the family, and start cultivation. The Xu family in Qingyun City. Immediately after, a memory that did not belong to oneself appeared in the mind. Showcasing scenes in one's mind like a movie. An hour later, Xingzhou slowly opened his eyes. Originally, the person I traveled to was the ancestor of the Xu family in Qingyun City. Speaking of this Xu family ancestor, he is also a generation figure. Originally from an orphan background, he gained a great opportunity in a desperate situation and then soared to the sky. Finally, with his strong strength, he established the Xu family in Qingyun City. Later, due to the low talent of the younger generation in the family, after the successive deaths of the three direct lineages, they left the family in order to break through and achieve higher cultivation levels. Unexpectedly, he was injured in a secret realm and died on his way home due to his severe injuries. Xingzhou thought that once he successfully crossed the river, he could conquer all directions and reach the pinnacle of his life. I haven't started feeling happy yet, but the system actually needs to bind a family in order to start cultivation. Dog system, this is too much of a pit. Half an hour later, Xingzhou stopped cursing and stood up. According to my memory in my mind, this place is still 40 miles away from Qingyun City. After distinguishing, Xingzhou began to walk forward quickly. Now that I have no cultivation, it's better to quickly find the Xu family in Qingyun City. Otherwise, someone who is not open-minded will kill me, and I don't even have a place to say I'm unjustified. After all, this is a world of the jungle. Qingyun City. Xu family. Conference hall. At this moment, Xuanhuan, the head of the Xu family, and the 5 elders of the Xu family are discussing matters. However, everyone's faces were gloomy, and for a moment no one spoke. Seeing no one speaking, Xuanhuan sighed and said, "Everyone, now that Howard has been injured, I'm afraid we won't be able to participate in the 3-clan competition in a month. We still need to prepare early. Nowadays, it has been over 1,000 years since the founding of the Su family by its ancestors. After more than 1,000 years of development, Qingyun City has formed a situation where three major families, Li, Zhang, and Su, stand in power. The three-clan competition is a competition in which the three major families select young warriors to compete in the form of an arena. When it comes to the comparison of the three ethnic groups, we have to mention something from 30 years ago. 30 years ago, a spiritual stone vein appeared near Qingyun City. In order to avoid fighting and harming innocent people, the Lord's mansion approached the three major families to discuss the mining of spiritual stone veins. It was ultimately decided that the Lord's mansion would account for 40% of the profits, and the remaining 60% would be distributed among the three major families based on the ranking of the younger generation in martial arts. Due to the strong power of the Lord's mansion, the three major families also had to agree. After all, the strongest members of the three major families are only at the peak of the Spirit Sea realm, and the city lord is already a master of the four heavens in the imperial sky realm. So the three-year competition among the three clans was passed down, and the ranking of each martial arts battle determined the allocation of spiritual stone shares for the next 3 years. The first place earns 30% of the income, the second place earns 20% of the income, and the last place earns 10% of the income. However, in recent martial arts battles, the Su family has been ranked last, which has resulted in a limited increase in their strength. There is a faint trend of being surpassed by the Lu family under the three major families. As for the Lu family, it has developed rapidly in recent years due to the fact that some of their descendants have joined the sect. If the Su family still wins the last place in this three-race competition, they may not be able to wait until the next three-race competition and will be surpassed by the Lu family. Originally, the Su family was hoping for Su Hao to compete, but recently they were injured by the Lu family's design. It seems that the Su family is hopeless again in this big competition among the three ethnic groups. Third Elder Su Zhilang said in a deep voice, "Big brother, Hao's injury has already been seen by an alchemist. If you want to recover quickly, you need to use the third order elixir of generating muscle and restoring bone, otherwise you will have to slowly recover. There is probably not much hope for a third-level pill, and there is only one second-level alchemist in Qingyun City. We can only go to Wanbao Tower to try our luck with the pill matter." Su Zhilang nodded and said, I'll go to Wanbao Tower to ask later." Elder Su Zhirui shook his head after hearing this and said, "The Lu family's actions are clearly aimed at our family, and they cannot leave us any opportunities. Hurting Hao is probably just the beginning, there will be other actions in the future. We need to be prepared for the worst." Yeah, since Lu Long of the Lu family joined the Flame sect, the Lu family has been developing rapidly and is now almost catching up with our Su family. Especially in the past year, the conflicts between the Lu family and our family have been increasing. The other elders also nodded in agreement. Second Elder Su Jiwu looked angry and said, "It's not a big deal to fight against the Lu family. Our Su family doesn't have any cowards." Su Ziyuan smiled bitterly and said, "Third brother, things haven't reached this point yet. If we fight against the Lu family, it will only benefit other families." At this moment, Su Zhirui looked at Su Ziyuan and said, "Big brother, let the younger members of the family go out to experience after the three-clan competition ends." Su Ziyuan listened for a moment, and the others also fell silent. Everyone understands what this means. This is to let the younger generation of the family leave, in case something happens to the family, it won't cut off the family's inheritance. Well, you can arrange this matter. In the evening, at the gate of Qingyun City, Su Xingzhou looked up at the city wall and saw the three big characters, Qingyun City, prominently on it. Su Xingzhou took a long sigh of relief and then walked into the city. P.S. Character description. Su Ziyuan, Su Zhirui, Su Jiwu, and Su Zhilang are 4 brothers. Clan leader. Su Ziyuan elder. Su Zhirui second elder. Su Jiwu 3 elders. Su Zhilang 4 elders. Su Qisheng 5 elders. Su Ruoshi. I don't want to admit chapter 2, but he gave me too much. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. At the moment of entering Qingyun City, Su Xingzhou felt a slight sense of security. So I first found an inn, had a delicious meal, and then tidied myself up. After all, people who want to become ancestors cannot act too sloppy, right? Then Su Xingzhou asked some questions about the Su family at the inn before leaving. This is my first time being an ancestor to someone, I must understand the situation. I can't just run to the Su family and say, I'm your ancestor. This must not be cut to death by someone else's indiscriminate knives. Along the way, Su Xingzhou also heard people talking about the Su family on the roadside. At present, it seems that the situation of the Su family is not good. At the entrance of the Su family mansion. Looking at the 2 doormen at the door. Su Xingzhou lost his composure, then put one hand behind his back and walked forward, pretending to have an enigmatic expression, saying, I have something to do with your clan leader. Please go and report it to me. Su Xin and Su Yan looked at each other and felt a bit strange. In their eyes, what was in front of them was a young man who called himself an old man. However, in the world of warriors, there are countless people who are older but younger in appearance. Some warriors pay more attention to their appearance, which is understandable. But what's strange is that the person in front of me is just an ordinary person, and it's impossible to have any relationship with my own clan leader. The 2 of them didn't speak. After exchanging their eyes a few times, Su Xian said, wait a moment, then turn around and enter the door. After waiting for a while, Su Xian appeared with an invitation. Su Xingzhou's face remained unchanged, and he breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. I finally managed to get in, otherwise I wouldn't have any cultivation like this and wouldn't be able to be tough. Just as Su Xingzhou stepped into the Su family mansion with his left foot, a system prompt sound appeared in his ear. Ding, congratulations to the host, successfully binding the family. Activate character attributes. Immediately after, Su Xingzhou felt a spiritual force emerging within his body, his whole body feeling warm and even a bit like drifting. Suppressing this feeling, Su Xingzhou followed Su Xian while checking his attributes. Name. Su Xingzhou Realm. 7 Heavenly Heavens in the Imperial Sky Realm, Age. 1888 years old, Constitution. None, Divine Skill. None, Occupation. Warrior, Property. None, Practice. None, Martial Arts. None, Description. Host strength is equal to the total strength of family bloodline members. What? This is the Imperial Sky Realm. Seeing his attribute panel, Su Xingzhou was shocked in his heart. Have you become the top expert in Qingyun City now? At present, the top expert in Qingyun City is the city lord Xuanhuan, a master of the 4 heavens in the Imperial Sky Realm. With your own strength, you can now walk horizontally in Qingyun City. Thinking of this, Su Xingzhou instantly straightened his waist and didn't panic at all, looking like an expert. Although I now have the cultivation level of 7 heavens in the Imperial Sky Realm, under the cover of the system, I am still like an ordinary person. In just a moment, Su Xingzhou and Su Xian arrived at the Su family reception hall. Then, Su Xian signaled for Su Xingzhou to enter, and he turned back the same way. As soon as Su Xingzhou entered, he saw a middle-aged man with his back to him. Upon hearing someone approaching, Su Ziyuan turned around and looked at the person in front of him with a puzzled expression. He confirmed that the person in his eyes was someone he had never seen before and said, "What's the point of coming to me, Your Excellency?" Originally, Su Xingzhou was preparing to use reason and emotion to make the Su family believe that they were their ancestors. After all, these small families also lack the ability to conduct blood tests. Suddenly, a person with no cultivation called them their ancestors. Who would believe it unless their minds were flooded? But now it's different. I don't need to be so careful with my cultivation in the 7 heavens of the imperial sky realm. I am Su Xingzhou, the ancestor of the Su family. Su Ziyuan didn't know how to answer for a moment. What happened when an ancestor suddenly appeared? And could it be a conspiracy of other families at this time? After being stunned for a while, Su Ziyuan still had a shocked expression on his face. Your Excellency, I need to confirm this matter. So Su Ziyuan summoned his servants and asked him to notify the elders and the Supreme Elder to come to the reception hall. In 15 minutes. Su Family Reception Hall. Su Xingzhou and Su Ziyuan are sitting in the upper seats. The Supreme Elder and Elder sat down one by one. After listening to what Su Ziyuan said, everyone's hearts couldn't calm down. Because they really have no means to verify the authenticity of this matter based on their strength. If this matter is true, maybe this is an opportunity for the Su family. But if it's fake, it must be a conspiracy of other families, which will exacerbate the end of the Su family. Just when everyone was at a loss, Su Jirue gave Su Jiwu a wink. Su Jiwu immediately stood up and said, "If you are the ancestor of the Su family, your strength must be higher than ours. If you are not talented, I am willing to take the courage to give it a try." Besides the 3 great elders of the Supreme Court, Su Jiwu is the strongest person in the Su family, the 8 heavens of the Linghai realm. Upon hearing this, Su Ziyuan immediately spoke up, "Third brother, you must not be impolite." As soon as he finished speaking, he saw Su Jiwu's figure rushing towards him, and then he began to step back and forth. Immediately afterwards, everyone felt a momentum far exceeding the peak of the spiritual sea realm permeating the reception hall. Yukong realm. In just an instant, the momentum had dissipated. However, everyone was still frightened into a cold sweat. Because this momentum far exceeds that of the city lord, it must be the strength above the 7 heavens of the imperial sky realm. They can still distinguish this point. Thank you for your mercy, Ancestor. After this trial, Su Jiwu had already believed in Su Xingzhou. After all, with such strong strength, there is no family in the entire Qingyun city that can take it out. Moreover, if such a strong person wants to seize the property of the Su family cannot resist. Others also understand this truth. Farewell to our ancestors. Su Xingzhou waved his hand to get everyone up and then asked, "What is the situation with the family now?" Su Ziyuan hesitated a bit, although he had already begun to believe that this was the ancestor of the family, there were still some doubts. However, when Su Ziyuan thought about this person's strength, he also sighed helplessly. Ancestor, currently there are 3 supreme elders in the Su family who are all at the peak of their Linghai realm strength, followed by Jiwu Linghai realm 8 levels, Jirue Linghai realm 5 levels, Jilan Linghai realm 4 levels, Qixing Elder Linghai realm 4 levels, Ruoshi Elder Linghai realm 2 levels, and I am Linghai realm 6 levels. The rest are the gathering and quenching states. Then Su Ziyuan talked about the recent events in the family and some family resources. After Su Ziyuan finished speaking, everyone in the Su family felt a bit uneasy. After listening to this, Su Xingzhou felt that the Su family was also too poor. The net income for 1 year is less than 2 million, which is a lower-grade spirit stone. This is still because there is a division of spiritual stone veins, otherwise it may not be enough to make ends meet. Thinking of this, Su Xingzhou's consciousness entered the system space and looked at his several mountains made up of spiritual stones that could not be seen at a glance. Fortunately, my system space is infinitely large, otherwise there wouldn't be enough space for this thing. Then I found a storage ring with a storage capacity of 100,000 cubic meters in the system space, which contained 1 billion lower-grade spirit stones. These are all used to cultivate family children. After all, one's own strength is linked to the strength of family members. Just as I was about to exit the system space, I saw a skin revitalizing and bone restoring pill in an inconspicuous corner, which was also placed in the storage ring. Then exit the system space and look at the Su family. Seeing my ancestor looking at me, all the members of the Su family, including the Supreme Elder, lowered their heads. Su Xingzhou threw the storage ring to Su Ziyuan and said, "Ziyuan, there are some spirit stones and a flesh and bone healing pill inside. Please arrange the spirit stones and send them to the clan members as soon as possible to enhance their strength." Upon hearing this, Su Ziyuan was both surprised and delighted, and hurriedly took off the storage ring, saying, "Thank you, Ancestor." Because he heard the Yushengji Fugu pill. This is a third-order pill. Even the Wanbao Tower in Qingyun City is out of stock, and the value of this pill is only 1 million lower-grade spirit stones. Su Ziyuan didn't think much anymore and quickly used his divine sense to explore and examine. Others saw the clan chief holding the storage ring in a trembling hand, unable to speak clearly. Old. Ancestor. Old. Ancestor. The people of the Su family couldn't help but look down on the clan leader. Isn't it just a health and bone restoring pill and some spirit stones? Even if the Xingzhi Fugu pill is more precious, it shouldn't be like this. Isn't it too embarrassing to see my ancestor like this for the first time? At this point, Su Ziyuan no longer knew how to speak, but although he didn't know how to express himself, his mind was still clear. Immediately holding the ring, he walked up to Su Jirue and gestured for him to take a look. Su Jirue took the ring with a disdainful expression and then his divine sense penetrated. Sleeping slot. Everyone immediately jumped up when they saw Su Jirue, who was usually wise and calm. At this moment, everyone also realized something was wrong. After Su Jirue realized it, he quickly held the ring and said to Su Xingzhou, "Ancestor, there are too many spirit stones to use up. This is just 1 billion spirit stones. This is just the first batch. Please distribute them to the tribe members as soon as possible and come back to me to collect them after distribution." Upon hearing this, the rest of the crowd reacted. Who can't help but exclaim, lying down, when they see this special thing. 1 billion spirit stones are already 10 times the property of the Su family. I heard from my ancestors that this is just the first batch. At this moment, the Su family no longer had any doubts about Su Xingzhou in their hearts. I don't want to admit it either, but he gave me too much. Thank you very much, Ancestor. P.S. Character description. 3 Supreme Elders name. Su Xiujin, Su Xiujie, Su Xuan realm description. Quenching body realm, gathering chi realm, spirit sea realm, imperial sky realm, divine power realm, life and death realm, king realm, emperor realm, holy realm. Each realm is divided into 9 levels of heaven. Chapter 3. Character summoning card. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. After explaining the matter of Lingshi, Su Ziyuan arranged accommodation for Su Xingzhou. This is a courtyard located at the back of the Su family mansion, and there are usually no people passing through it. Su Xingzhou expressed great satisfaction with this. Tonight, destined to be a sleepless night. After arranging Su Xingzhou, Su Ziyuan immediately asked his servants to bring the vitality and bone-restoring pill to Su Hao for consumption. Then he hurriedly took 3 senior elders and 5 elders to the council hall. They need to discuss what happened today and redefine the family plan for the future. The Su family conference hall. Su Ziyuan came straight to the point and said, "Everyone knows what happened today, and we need to change the way our family develops. Our ancestors' strength is at least above the 7 heavens of the imperial sky realm, which is an opportunity for us. With our ancestors around, at least we don't have to worry too much about other families' conspiracies. After all, in the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and schemes are in vain. However, we cannot take it lightly either. The family's strength is still insufficient and needs to continue to develop. The focus of the family's development will now be on improving the strength of its members. What suggestions do you have for this?" After speaking, Su Ziyuan looked at the crowd. Everyone was very excited, even the 3 supreme elders were blushing. Su Jirue shook his head secretly and said, "Big brother, I think what we need to do now is to increase the monthly cultivation materials for family members, and then go to the Wanbao building to purchase cultivation materials to enrich the family's foundation. The most important thing is that we still need to develop in a low-key manner. After all, a man is innocent, he harbors a grudge. If we attract more powerful warriors, our Su family will fall into an irreversible situation. Su Jirue's words also instantly awakened the slightly drifting crowd. Since experiencing today's ups and downs, it seems that everyone has not come to their senses yet. And after our ancestors come back, our gaze cannot be limited to Qingyun City. After saying these words, Su Jirue looked at the crowd again, paused for a moment, and continued, "Of course, these are all things that will come later. What we need to do now is to win the big competition among the 3 clans and dominate Qingyun City." Su Xingzhou lay in bed, unable to fall asleep for a long time. Since crossing over, I have been rushing to Qingyun City without checking what I have signed in for these 100,000 years. Just take advantage of this time to tidy up. Consciousness enters the system space and looks at objects that are beyond reach. Even if I just saw them once, my heart is still shocked. Lower-grade spirit stones, middle-grade spirit stones, top-grade spirit stones, and top-grade spirit stones are all mountains that cannot be seen at a glance. The mountains of holy spirit stones are relatively small, but they are also countless. Pills, spiritual weapons, martial arts techniques, and various materials are also piles of mountains. Of course, the most eye-catching ones are the floating light clusters. Looking at tens of thousands at a glance. Su Xingzhou clicked on one and a message instantly appeared in his mind. Chaos God Demon Body. Then he looked at other light clusters. Qingmian Immortal Sword Technique. Biming Divine Skill, Dandy's Letter. After watching a few, Su Xingzhou didn't calm down anymore. Good thing. Good thing. It's all mine. Compared to those mountains of things, these light clusters are truly good things. So Su Xingzhou checked over one by one. Of course, Su Xingzhou would never admit that he had never seen the world before, but rather looked into it with a mindset of understanding and understanding his own things. Ding, automatic check that IN successful. Get a character summoning card. The sudden system prompt sound brought out the system space for Su Xingzhou's consciousness. Su Xingzhou sat up directly. Character summoning card. This should be the first time it has appeared, as Su Xingzhou has not seen it in the system space. It seems that this should be a check that IN item that only appears after being bound to the family. After reading the instructions, the character summoning card can summon a cultivator with a cultivation level higher than the host and never betray. Without hesitation, Su Xingzhou used it directly. Use character summoning cards. Ding, summoning successful. Character generation in progress. I saw a young man dressed in white slowly emerge from the empty room, looking just in his early 20s. I, Yi Xian, pay my respects to the Lord. Get up. After speaking, Su Xingzhou clicked on Yi Xian's character attribute panel. Name. Yi Xian, Realm. A heavenly realm of life and death, age. 22 years old, constitution. Immortal sword body, divine skill. Breaking the sky, occupation. Warrior, attribute. Gold, practice. Tai Xian Bible, martial arts. Tai Xian sword technique, sleeping trough. A heaven of life and death. This is the rhythm of taking off directly. Not only is one's cultivation high, but their attributes are also extremely gorgeous, and they are simply incomparable. I'm afraid that with Yi Xian's attributes, he can directly level up and fight. Su Xingzhou's heart was pounding, with an impulse to immediately take down the city lord and dominate Qingyun City. However, this idea only flashed by and was kicked away by Su Xingzhou. It's easy to capture the city lord, but Qingyun City belongs to the Zhou dynasty. The great Zhou dynasty had experts in the royal realm. We still have to endure for a while. Bang! Just as Yi Yixian appeared, even the warriors in Qingyun City, including several surrounding cities, felt a terrifying aura gathering above their heads, making them unable to lift their heads. In an instant, this aura disappeared as if it had not appeared. Qingyun City Lord's Mansion. Zhou Hanmo woke up from his cultivation, with a serious expression on his face. He immediately came out of the cultivation room and sent a message to Tiantong Mansion. At this moment, the Su family, who were still in the conference room, also stopped discussing and looked at each other in confusion. Finally, it was decided to inquire about the opinions of our ancestors, as the sudden emergence of this powerful figure had an unclear purpose. A group of people quickly rushed to the entrance of Su Xingzhou's courtyard. Ancestor, just now a strong aura appeared. Do we need to prepare early? With a creak, Su Xingzhou opened the door and walked out with Yi Yixian. Ancestor. Everyone quickly saluted. Su Xingzhou waved his hand and said, "Don't worry, this is my friend Yi Yixian. He released his aura just now, and from now on, he will be our Su family's one-star worshipper." Yes, Ancestor. Everyone was shocked in their hearts. The momentum just now was even better than that of our ancestor today, probably surpassing the Imperial Sky Realm. Everyone was already a bit unimaginable. In the morning, I was still worried about the safety of my family. Before a day had passed, my family had 2 super experts. So Su Ziyuan quickly arranged for Yi Yixian's residence. After undergoing the dual baptism of the light cluster and Yi Yixian attributes in the system space, Su Xingzhou knew that to quickly improve the family's strength, relying solely on their cultivation was not enough. Overall, their own talents are too poor, and even with sufficient cultivation resources, it is difficult for them to reach advanced levels. It seems that we still need to take action ourselves, as it's a waste to keep those light clusters in the system space. Only when family members practice faster can their cultivation grow faster and better protect the family. Yes, that's right. I'm doing this for my family. So Su Xingzhou began to choose his own constitution and martial arts. Chapter 4. Hongmeng Immortal Body and Hongmeng Creation Technique. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The light cluster in the system space has been viewed by Su Xingzhou once. Finally, Su Xingzhou chose the Hongmeng Immortal Body and a Holy Level Advanced Technique Hongmeng Creation Technique for himself. Among them, Hongmeng Immortal Body is the top-level Holy Body. According to Su Xingzhou's memory, the constitutions that exist in this world are divided into lower-grade spiritual bodies, middle-grade spiritual bodies, top-grade spiritual bodies, top-grade spiritual bodies, and holy bodies. Carrying a lower-grade spiritual body can be called a genius. Because it's difficult to have a lower-grade spiritual body among millions of people. Lu Long, a member of the Lu family, possesses a lower-level spiritual body, which is why he was favored by the leader of the Flame sect and adopted as his own disciple. This has been the only warrior in Qingyun City and several nearby cities who has possessed a spiritual body for so many years. The lowest achievement of a warrior with a spiritual body will be above the divine realm. This is the terrifying aspect of the spiritual body. As for the intermediate spiritual body, it may only be seen in the capital of the Zhou dynasty. And as soon as the Holy Communion appears, it is the target of the top forces in the Zhangxian realm. The cultivation and martial arts are divided into 5 levels. Huang level, Xian level, Di level, Tian level, and Xing level. Each level is further divided into primary, intermediate, and advanced levels. The highest level of martial arts currently possessed by the Su family is the Huangjia Advanced Martial Arts. The advanced Huangjia technique can help people cultivate to the peak of the Spirit Sea realm. Although advanced Huangjia techniques can also allow people to break through to the Imperial Sky realm, the probability of breaking through is extremely small. Even if you break through by chance, the subsequent cultivation speed will be incredibly slow. So if you want to cultivate to a higher level, you need high-level techniques. And martial arts are the core of a power, and there are usually very few martial arts passed down, let alone high-level ones. Closing his eyes, Xingzhou began to use his constitution and techniques. Use Hongmeng Immortal Body and Hongmeng Creation Technique. Ding, the Hongmeng Immortal Body has been successfully used. Ding, the Hongmeng Creation Technique has been successfully used. At the moment of hearing the system prompt, Xingzhou felt his body constantly breaking and restructuring. It seems like a long time has passed, and in an instant, the pain all over the body disappears. Instead, there is a feeling of power. And there are also many cultivation methods for the Hongmeng Creation Technique in my mind. Due to Xingzhou being the host, he directly mastered the highest level of martial arts, while his physique mastered all the wonderful uses. The reason why the holy body is different from the spiritual body is that in addition to providing the owner with faster cultivation speed and a ladder to higher levels, the holy body also has many wonderful uses waiting for the owner to develop. What surprised Xingzhou was that the Hongmeng Creation Technique included a comprehensive Hongmeng martial arts chapter. Xingzhou's current feeling is that if he is in the same realm, even Yi Yixian can rub against the ground. This is what our ancestors should look like. The next day, some children of the Su family looked at the clan leader and the elders who had just emerged from the conference hall, feeling a wave of guilt in their hearts. Now that the family is in danger, the elders of the family stay up all night discussing big matters for the sake of the family, while they themselves are still sleeping soundly and not striving for progress. This is simply too sorry for the family elders. I'm really damn it. Thinking of this, these Su family children immediately went back to start their cultivation. After a night of discussion, Su Ziyuan and a group of elders have also determined the direction of the family's future development. Quickly, the family members received a notice to collect the cultivation resources for this month. And Su Ziyuan didn't care about resting, so he turned around and went to Su Hao's courtyard. Su Hao is exactly Su Ziyuan's child. Su Ziyuan and his wife Chu Xian have 2 sons in total. The eldest son Su Hao ranks first among the younger generation in the family. The youngest son Su Xian ranks 6th among the younger generation in the family. And Su Hao also ranks first among the younger generation of the family with the strength of gathering qi in the triple heaven realm. When Su Ziyuan arrived at Su Hao's courtyard, he found that his wife and Su Xian were also present. The 3 of them were sitting in the yard chatting, and it seemed that Su Hao's injury had already recovered. "Husband, you're here." Chu Xian saw Su Ziyuan coming and quickly got up. And Su Hao and Su Xian quickly stood up to salute. "Father." "Well, how is your injury?" "It's all over now, father." "Where did this pill come from?" Su Hao asked in confusion after answering. Yesterday during the day, Su Zhilang came over to tell him that the Xingji Fugu pill might not be found, and at that time, Su Hao also gave up on this idea. Unexpectedly, it was delivered in the middle of the night. Upon hearing that Su Hao had completely recovered, Su Ziyuan finally felt relieved. "This is sent by our ancestor. Last night, our Su family ancestor returned, and he is the ancestor who founded the Su family." At this moment, Su Xian suddenly rushed up and said, "Dad, this ancestor can't be fake, can he? It's just a coincidence at this moment." Dong. Sigh. Su Ziyuan gave Su Xian a headache and said, "It's already confirmed, you can't talk nonsense." At this point, some members of the Su family who had received notification had already arrived at the warehouse courtyard where resources were placed and waited in line. This is exactly where the Su family distributes cultivation resources. "Ah, have you heard that our cultivation resources may be decreasing starting from this month? I've also heard that some of our family's industries have closed down recently and have not been profitable. Unfortunately, my cultivation is too weak, I can't do anything." Actually, according to the original plan, the Su family is preparing to start reducing the consumption of their clan's cultivation resources. Because the Su family's industry has been suppressed in recent years, it would have been unsustainable if it weren't for the division of Lingshire mineral veins. While everyone was discussing, Su Jirui walked in. The distribution of resources in the Su family has always been managed by the elder. Looking at everyone's expressions, Su Jirui had already guessed their thoughts and secretly smiled in his heart. Then he said solemnly, "Don't worry, everyone. Your cultivation resources will not decrease. You are the hope of the family, and even if the family is difficult, your cultivation resources will not decrease." After listening to Su Jirui's words, several teenagers have already slapped themselves a few times, so ashamed. Su Jirui walked up to the accounting table and said, "All right, everyone line up one by one to collect cultivation resources." Well, Su Feiming, at the peak of the quenching state, 50 inferior spirit stones. What? Su Feiming looked incredulous and said, "Elder, did you make a mistake?" Because according to the peak cultivation level of one's own quenching state, 10 inferior spirit stones are distributed every month. Feiming, there's nothing wrong. These are all for you. Practice well, and the family will rely on you in the future. If it weren't for his cultivation in the spirit sea realm, Su Jirui would have been unable to hold back. What a group of innocent children. Soon, Su Jirui distributed the cultivation resources to everyone, and everyone received several times the spiritual stones as before. And those teenagers who were entrusted with the family responsibility by Su Jirui quickly ran home to practice. Chapter 5. Batch Transformation of Holy Communion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since we need to cultivate our family, giving only spirit stones is definitely not enough. We also need to provide some pills to assist in cultivation. On Su Xingzhou's side, he also selected some first-order, second-order, and third-order low-level pills from his pile of mountain-shaped pills. Ah, the family's strength is really weak. We can't even use high-level pills now, we can only use these relatively low-level ones. Su Xingzhou picks up pills while roast. When can I break through like this? We need to come up with a solution. Well, I can first transform them into holy bodies and then lock them in a small black room for continuous cultivation. Jia, isn't it possible to break through while lying down like this? Sure enough, you're as clever as me. So, Su Xingzhou sent someone to find Su Ziyuan. After Su Ziyuan arrived, he respectfully bowed and said, "Ancestor. Ziyuan, I have some pills here. You can also take them and distribute them to the tribe members to take." Yes. Without much thought, Su Ziyuan directly took the ring given by Su Xingzhou. "Ancestor, we are preparing to hold a banquet to sweep away the wind and dust for our ancestors." Well, it's just right. I also have something to see my tribe members about. Grandfather, then I'll go down and prepare. After Su Ziyuan walked out, he was ready to casually check the ring and send it to Su Jirui. Sleeping slot. This. There are 100,000 pills inside the ring. Among them, there are 60,000 first-order pills, 30,000 second-order pills, and 10,000 third-order pills. They are all pills that increase the speed of absorbing spiritual energy. Although these are all auxiliary cultivation pills, they are relatively cheap. Even third-order pills only cost 200,000 yuan per lower-grade spirit stone. And third-order pills with special effects such as Shinji Fugu Dan can be sold for millions of lower-grade spirit stones. But the value of these 100,000 pills also exceeds 4 billion lower-grade spirit stones. Is this the treasure trove that my ancestor robbed of? And then came back for refuge. At this moment, Su Ziyuan fell into deep imagination. But after Su Jirui received it, he was already numb. The spirit stone had just been released a bit, not even a small fraction had been released. My ancestor gave me another 100,000 pills. I can't finish it, I can't finish it, I can't even finish it. On the other side, the square inside the Su family mansion is already filled with tables and chairs. This time, Su Ziyuan only hosted a family banquet and did not invite anyone else. In the evening, there are already many people busy on the square. Not long after, Su Ziyuan and several elders also arrived, and by now the people of the Su family had also arrived. The Su family is composed of legitimate, collateral, servants, and servants. As for collateral, although they are collateral, they are also people with the Su family bloodline, but their relatives are relatively distant. And the household servants are composed of some defectors and recruited individuals with cultivation, who are usually used to guard the house and handle family business. Servants are ordinary people recruited to serve the family. There are over 400 people in the Su family now. Among them, there are about 30 legitimate and collateral members combined. There are over 100 servants in the household, and the rest are all servants. This is still because in recent years, the Su family has gradually declined and left many people. At its peak, the Su family had nearly 1,000 people. When Su Ziyuan saw that the people were around, he summoned his servants and brought 3 elders from the Supreme Court. Then he brought a group of elders to the front door of Su Ziyuan's courtyard. Ancestor, the banquet is ready. Upon hearing that they were ready, Su Xingzhou came out with Yi Xian. At present, only a few people know about the return of our ancestors, except for the clan leader and elders. Many people still don't know what happened this time. When Su Xingzhou and others arrived at the square, everyone quieted down, curiously looking at the 2 young people standing next to the clan chief. Is this someone from a big family? At this moment, everyone saw that the clan leader Su Ziyuan had left the main seat and a nearby seat, and walked to the other side. And a group of elders also went to the location below. Su Ziyuan pointed to Su Xingzhou and said to the crowd, "Today's family banquet is to clean up the dust for our ancestors. This is the ancestor of our Su family, who has returned from his travels. In the future, our ancestors' words must be executed unconditionally." After speaking, Su Ziyuan pointed to Yi Xian and said, "This person will become the 1-star worshipper of our Su family, Yi Shifeng, and his status will be equivalent to that of the Supreme Elder. Next, let's invite our ancestor to give a speech." Ancestor. The ancestor has returned. He is so young. I don't know which ancestor this is his strength strong or not? This Yi Jinfeng looks very young, I don't know what his strength is. The people of the Su family below were immediately shocked upon hearing this. I am Su Xingzhou, who has been traveling for a long time. Now that I am back, we will work together to make the Su family bigger and stronger, and create more brilliance. Today, everyone has a hearty drink. Let's start the banquet. After Su Xingzhou finished speaking, Su Ziyuan began to invite everyone to take their seats. But the Su family members below exploded. Others may not know, but the members of the Su family are well aware that this ancestor is the founder of the Su family. It's been over 1,000 years since we last lived, how powerful it is. This also makes the people of the Su family feel that when their ancestors come back at this time, they can definitely save the family in danger. The news of the return of the Su family ancestors also spread along with this family banquet. This makes the situation in Qingyun City look even more complicated and confusing. After the dinner, Su Ziyuan brought both the legitimate and collateral members of the Su family to the courtyard of Su Xingzhou. At this point, there were no outsiders around the courtyard of Su Xingzhou except for the legitimate and collateral members of the Su family. This is Su Xingzhou's order. Ancestor. After everyone arrived, they respectfully called out Ancestor. Su Xingzhou opened the door and said, no one can spread today's story. Violators will be executed for treason. After speaking, Su Xingzhou released a hint of momentum, which instantly made everyone feel unable to stand. Yes, Ancestor. Everyone looked puzzled upon hearing this, but still decided to follow the instructions of their ancestors. Even Su Ziyuan, who had seen Su Xingzhou take out resources twice, was puzzled by what could make his ancestor so serious. You all come in. In the room, Su Xingzhou looked at everyone and couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. From now on, they will all be my cultivation tools. 30 holy bodies help me cultivate together, who can catch up with this speed? However, Su Xingzhou still had a serious expression on his face. Now my Su family is weak, and you are the hope for the future of the Su family. Today I am bestowing upon you the holy body and holy rank cultivation technique. Do not spread this matter to the outside world. I hope you will cultivate and strengthen our Su family. As soon as Su Xingzhou finished speaking, the pot immediately exploded below. Even Su Ziyuan and others who had already witnessed Su Xingzhou's actions were dumbfounded, as if they had heard the wrong thing. Holy Communion. Holy Level Technique. These are all legendary things. And can the Holy Communion be freely given to others? This is totally out of line, his mother. And others were even more shocked and at a loss. This seriously disrupts their worldview. For a moment, the scene surprisingly quieted down. Seeing everyone seem stunned, Su Xingzhou immediately spoke up and pulled back their thoughts. Now, sit cross-legged. Everyone obeyed the command as if they had no soul, and then sat cross-legged. Su Xingzhou immediately walked up to Su Ziyuan, reached out his finger, and pointed it at Su Ziyuan's forehead. Today, I am giving you the Zhou Tian Xing Chen body and the holy level technique Zhou Tian Xing Chen Ju. I saw 2 clusters of light floating from Su Xingzhou's fingers into Su Ziyuan's eyebrows. In an instant, Su Ziyuan was shrouded in light, and a terrifying aura spread around him. Because Su Xingzhou's room has already been shrouded by the system, the aura will not be detected by the outside world. This is a function that was only discovered after Yi Yixian summoned it. Then, starting from the 3 supreme elders, they were consecrated with holy bodies and holy level cultivation techniques. Elder Su Xiujie of the Supreme Court bestowed upon him the Taichu Holy King body and Taichu Xiangong. Elder Su Xiujin of the Supreme Court bestowed upon Tai Xian the heavenly body and Tai Xian the heavenly skill. Elder Su Xuanhuan of the Supreme Court bestowed upon him the Xuanhuan body and Xiangong of the Supreme Court. Elder Su Zhirui bestowed upon him the holy body of 10,000 paths and the holy merit of 10,000 laws. Second Elder Su Zhiwu, bestowed with the divine body and divine elephant of prison control merit. Su Hao, the son of Su Ziyuan, was bestowed with the chaos divine demon body and chaos Xiangong. Su Xian, the son of Su Ziyuan, was bestowed with the void Dao body in the void ancient scripture. Su Qingxue, daughter of Su Zhirui, bestowed the holy body of the immortal phoenix, which will not destroy the scriptures. Su Zhan, the son of Su Zhiwu, was bestowed with the annihilation thunder body and the thunder annihilation sutra. Chapter 6. Divine Realm. Heavenly Realm, Divine Realm. Avatar of Creation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 1 hour later. Everyone woke up one by one. It seems that I still can't believe this is actually true. However, the changes transmitted from their bodies and the appearance of the holy rank advanced technique in their minds have to make them believe that this is the fact. At the same time, Su Xingzhou's methods also made them feel incredible, which is not something that ordinary warriors can do. Thank you very much to our ancestors for bestowing the holy body and holy rank technique. The people who had reacted quickly stood up to thank the ancestor. Even a few couldn't control themselves and broke through their cultivation on the spot. You should go back to practice immediately. Remember, since you can be given the Holy Communion, you can also take it back. Remember not to pass it on to anyone. At present, we cannot be too reckless, so today we only passed on the sacred body and martial arts of the people with the Su family bloodline. After they have practiced for a period of time, they can only proceed with the next step of their plan once their cultivation level has improved. On the other hand, after leaving the door, Su Ziyuan gave everyone another round of ideological education. After all, what happened today was too bizarre, so he had to be cautious. If you are not careful, it may be the disaster of extermination waiting for the Su family. However, what they didn't know was that since they arrived at Su Xingzhou's courtyard, everyone's every move had been monitored by Yi Yixian. There was nothing to say overnight. The next day, Su Xingzhou woke up and didn't pay much attention to the rewards for checking in. I was about to close the system page when I suddenly realized that I had broken through to the realm of divine powers. This is really something that can be broken through even by taking a nap. It seems that these cultivation tool people, oh, no, are very awesome. So I looked at my own attributes. Name: Su Xingzhou, Realm. Divine Power Realm 1 Heavenly Realm, Age. 1888 years old, Constitution. Hongmeng Immortal Body, Divine Skill. The Incarnation of Creation, Occupation. Warrior, Property. Nun, Practice. Hongmeng Creation Technique, Martial Arts. Hongmeng Martial Arts Chapter to Description. Host strength is equal to the total strength of family bloodline members. Creation Incarnation. Seeing an incarnation of creation appearing in his Divine Powers column, Su Xingzhou clicked to check the instructions. Creation Incarnation, the divine power of one's own destiny. Can condense an incarnation that is consistent with the body, controlled by divine consciousness. When the incarnation dies, it can be recondensed and the body is not damaged. The divine power of one's own destiny. In the Xuanhuan realm, martial artists have the opportunity to awaken their own divine powers when they reach the realm of divine powers. If they have not awakened their own divine powers, they can only cultivate ordinary divine powers on their own. Compared to ordinary divine powers, this destiny divine power is more suitable for the warrior himself, with less consumption and stronger power when used. There are various supernatural powers. The simplest way is to mimic or manipulate the corresponding spiritual energy of heaven and earth to form a certain form for attack or use. As for the profound ones, they are like the incarnation of nature or Yi Yixian's breaking heaven. Breaking the sky. It can attach the power of divine powers to weapons that are invincible and can break everything. Just as Su Xingzhou was examining the incarnation of creation, the method of condensing the incarnation of creation automatically came to mind. Immediately, Su Xingzhou attempted to condense the incarnation of creation. Incarnation of nature, condensation. After a wave of waves, a person who is exactly the same as Su Xingzhou slowly appears in the space beside Su Xingzhou. Su Xingzhou's divine sense penetrated into it, and a strange feeling suddenly appeared. There is a connection established between oneself and the incarnation, with a feeling of looking at oneself. Su Xingzhou tried to control the movement of this avatar without any discomfort. And besides knowing it themselves, no one else can even tell that this is an incarnation. But when controlling the avatar, the body remains stationary. It seems that we cannot control both the body and the avatar at the same time, we can only choose between the two. However, the switch between the main body and the avatar is an instantaneous task, and it is unknown whether it is due to the close proximity now. Su Xiujie's cultivation room. A breath of breakthrough flashed by. Su Xiujie slowly opened his eyes and felt the waves of breakthrough in his body. Number 34, Yukong Realm Triple Heaven. Number 34, just by integrating the holy body, we have broken through to the three heavens of the imperial sky realm, and this holy body truly lives up to its reputation. Number 34, the speed of absorbing spiritual energy is also dozens of times faster than before. Number 34, and this holy level technique, with just a little bit of enlightenment, the cultivation speed is like taking off. Number 34, it's too scary. Number 34, I don't know how my ancestors got so many opportunities. Number 34, Su Xiujin and Su Xuanhuan, two supreme elders, were also elevated to the triple heaven of the imperial sky realm. Only Su Jiwu, the other elders and clan leaders, has been elevated to the level of the Imperial Sky Realm, while the rest have also been elevated to 3 small realms. As for those martial artists in the Qi Sea realm, they have improved by at least 4 to 5 small realms. And those young people who have hardened their bodies have improved by at least 6 to 7 small realms. Excluding Su Xingzhou and Yi Xian, the strength of the Su family has far surpassed that of any other family in Qingyun City. The Su Family Conference Hall. The Su family, who had completely integrated the Holy Communion, once again gathered together. Everyone's hearts were filled with uncontrollable excitement. Even the 3 supreme elders seemed to be a bit younger. After all, it has broken through to the Imperial Sky Realm and its lifespan has increased significantly. In the Xuanhuan realm, although everyone can practice, not everyone has the opportunity to practice. The 2 most important things to cultivate are techniques and cultivation resources. And it is almost impossible for ordinary people to obtain these 2 things. So ordinary people still occupy a large proportion of the Xuanhuan realm. Because living in a world full of spiritual energy, although ordinary people, they can still live to the age of 100. But as long as you break through the Qi gathering realm, you start to break away from the world of ordinary people. Every time a warrior breaks through a great realm, they will increase their lifespan by some points. The higher the realm, the more it increases. The lifespan of Qi gathering martial artists is around 200 to 300 years. The lifespan of Linghai realm warriors is around 300 to 500 years. The lifespan of a warrior in the Yukong realm is around 500 to 800 years. The lifespan of a martial artist in the Divine realm is 800 to 1,200 years. The 3 senior elders of the Su family are all over 300 years old, and if they don't break through, they will only have a lifespan of a few decades. This is because martial arts practitioners are already fighting against the heavens, humans, and all things, and it is impossible for them to have no harm. It is difficult to live a peaceful life. This time, the 3 supreme elders broke through to the Imperial Sky Realm, which can be said to have increased their lifespan by 300 years. Not only do you not have to worry about the depletion of lifespan, but more importantly, there is also a chance to take it to the next level. After experiencing the initial excitement in the conference hall, everyone turned to the clan leader Su Ziyuan. Watching everyone exuding a powerful aura of breakthrough, Su Ziyuan never felt so confident as a clan leader at this moment. Number 34, there are some things that don't need me to say anymore, it's time for us to revitalize our family. Number 34, what we need to do next is to beat up the other 2 families in the Big 3 race competition, so that we don't even know our own parents. Do you have confidence? Number 34. Chapter 7. Visitors from the city and visits from the city lord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After speaking, Su Ziyuan looked at a group of young Su family members led by Su Hao. After integrating the Holy Communion, Su Hao, the strongest among these children, has reached the peak of the gathering Qi realm. Even the weakest Su Xian and others have reached the triple heaven of Qi gathering, which was already the state before Su Hao merged with the Holy Communion. That is to say, compared to their peers, the cultivation of these young Su family members can be considered as geniuses now. Number 34, have confidence. Number 34, even some of the girls blushed and shouted loudly. Okay. There is still 1 month left for the 3 clans competition, and I hope you can break through again. You should understand that the 3 clans competition is not our goal, it is just the starting point for the rise of our Su family. This time, the hearts of the Su family members who came out of the conference hall were filled with lofty aspirations. Qingyun City Lord's Mansion. Reception Hall. At this moment, there are 2 middle-aged people sitting upright on one side. The 2 adults have come from a long distance, and I apologize for the inconvenience. Before the arrival of the people, the voice of the city lord Zhou Hanmo came through. After hearing that Zhou Hanmo had arrived, the 2 stood up, and one of the warriors, Jiang Fei, spoke up. Zhou Qingzhou, you're welcome. We came to assist Zhou Xingzhou in investigating the aura of unfamiliar strongmen on the orders of the prefect. Zhou Xingzhou, please provide more details. Well, please sit down, two adults. Xuanhuan asked the two of them to sit down and then continued. At that time, I was practicing when I suddenly felt a strong aura like the lords in the city flashing by. That aura was only released and nothing else was done. It flashed by and I never felt this aura again afterwards. Recently, we have only received news from yesterday that the Su family's ancestor has returned without any other abnormalities. It is said that this ancestor is Su Xingzhou, the founder of the Su family, which has existed for over 1,000 years. I think this Su family ancestor may know something. Upon hearing this, the other warrior among the two, He Yucheng, also nodded and said, "It's a bit coincidental." Just as I discovered the strong aura, news of the Su family's ancestor's return came out. If this Su family ancestor really existed for over 1,000 years, it is very likely that he has reached the level of the mansion lord. A tumultuous autumn. Jiang Fei sighed somewhat. Among them, Jiang Fei is the cultivation level of the 4 heavens in the divine realm, while He Yucheng is the cultivation level of the 1 heavens in the divine realm. The two of them came here because the lord of Qingyun city, Zhou Hanmo, sent a message saying that there was a strong aura of life and death in the city. Generally speaking, those with strong life and death situations will not appear in such small towns, and if they do, something big may happen. And there are only the 2 idle strong men in Tiantong Mansion. Qingyun City was a small town under the jurisdiction of Tiantong Prefecture, one of the 36 prefectures of the Zhou dynasty. So the Lord sent them 2 to investigate the purpose of this strong man. Jiang Fei smiled bitterly and said, "Since that's the case, let's go visit this Su family ancestor first and see the situation before proceeding." The news of the Su family's ancestor's return also spread after yesterday's family banquet ended. However, more people still suspect that this is fake news released by the Su family. After all, the Su family was pushed too hard by the Li and Lu families, and they were about to be squeezed out of the ranks of the big family. If the ancestor of the Su family had returned, the Li and Lu families would have long ceased to exist. Because if that Su family ancestor had lived to this day, he would have been a master beyond the realm of divine powers. Erasing the Li and Lu families is just an instant. And the Li and Lu families have nothing to do yet. The most important thing is that it is said that the ancestor of the Su family is not a person with exceptional qualifications. It's impossible to have the strength to live to this day. So more people still believe that this is fake news. It is the Su family who is trying to win people's hearts and stabilize the family that is about to break down. As for the fleeting aura of the strong before, only the lord of Qingyun city, Zhou Hanmo, caught a trace of it. Others, on the other hand, are unable to perceive specific positions due to their low cultivation level, thinking that some strong person has passed by. Moreover, such matters of the strong are not something they can care about, so they are not taken seriously. Li family. An elderly Xuanhuan approached and respectfully said, "Master, there is news that the ancestor of the Su family has returned. It is said that he is the founder of the Su family." Li Tianqing was very puzzled. Is there any fraud? Now that Su Hao of the Su family has been deposed, the Su family has no chance of winning in the 3 major families competition 1 month later. After this, the Su family will inevitably be squeezed out of the ranks of the 3 major families. At this time, the news of our ancestors' return is spreading, probably to win over the family's hearts. You go investigate whether this matter is true or false. Li family. Li Qingye, the head of the Li family, said to the butler Li Xian, "I heard that the ancestor of the Su family has returned. Whether it is true or false, please prepare some gifts to come and visit." Lu family. Lu Sheng, the head of the Lu family, sneered, "Ancestor. The Su family is really foolish. Making up stories is just a brain. If that ancestor is real, I will twist my head off and kick it as a ball." Then he instructed his servants, ask someone to send some more cultivation resources to the young master. This time, the 3 clans will step on the Su family to ascend higher than my Lu family. The young master of the Lu family is Lu Long, who possesses a lower-grade spiritual body, and the injury of Su Hao from the Su family was also caused by Lu Long. This time, the Lu family specially summoned Lu Long back from the Blaze sect, vowing to step on the Su family and rise to power on the day of the 3 clans' great competition. Replace the Su family and become the new 3 major families in Qingyun City. At the entrance of the Su family mansion, Xuanhuan and others have arrived. Now, the gatekeeper of the Su family has changed, no longer Su Xian and Su Yan. The 2 of them have collateral lineages from the Su family, and now they are not the same as before. Naturally, they will not be arranged to be gatekeepers anymore. Soon, the city lord and others were taken into the Su family reception hall. Su Ziyuan was still preparing to continue his cultivation when he suddenly heard a servant report that the city lord had arrived and immediately set off to the reception hall. Lord Zhou is coming with great pleasure, and Su is welcome from afar. I hope you can forgive me. Su Ziyuan saw Zhou Hanmo and greeted him with a smile on his face. In his heart, he couldn't help but think that at this moment, Zhou Hanmo had discovered something. Master Su's words are heavy. Upon hearing that the ancestor of the Su family has returned, Zhou specially came to pay his respects. Just as he finished speaking, Zhou Hanmo suddenly realized that he couldn't see through Su Ziyuan's strength. Generally speaking, when there is a significant difference in the levels of martial artists, those with higher levels can see through the cultivation of those with lower levels at a glance. Or what high-level treasures can block the exploration of the strong. Now, Su Ziyuan, who has integrated the Holy Communion, has reached the pinnacle of cultivation in the Spirit Sea realm. The strength of Zhou Hanmo's 4 heavens in the Sky realm can no longer reveal Su Ziyuan's cultivation. However, Jiang Fei and He Yuqing only vaguely sensed Su Ziyuan's cultivation after some exploration. Peak of Linghai realm. The 2 of them exchanged a glance, which was different from what Zhou Hanmo said. Before coming, the 2 also learned some news about the Su family through Zhou Hanmo. This further strengthened the idea that the Su family was associated with that strong aura. Chapter 8. Strength Enhancement, Wanbao Chamber of Commerce. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon hearing that Zhou Hanmo was going to visit his ancestors, Su Ziyuan looked at the 2 people behind Zhou Hanmo. I couldn't find any cultivation at all, but there was a very dangerous feeling. Su Ziyuan knew that these 2 were probably at least experts in the Imperial Sky realm. But now it's different. With the return of his ancestors and the equally unfathomable worship of Yi, Su Ziyuan has no fear. So he asked the 3 of them to take their seats first and then said, Lord Zhou, please wait a moment. I will go and ask the ancestor. Soon, Su Ziyuan arrived at Su Xingzhou's courtyard. Ancestor, Lord Zhou has come and said he wants to visit you. Upon hearing Su Ziyuan's words, Su Xingzhou happened to want to experiment with the incarnation of creation, so he agreed. So he gathered his divine incarnation and followed Su Ziyuan to the reception hall. Su Ziyuan, who was by his side all the way, had no doubts about the incarnation of nature. After all, he dared not. It seems that we still need to see the reaction of Lord Zhou. When he arrived at the reception hall, Su Xingzhou saw at a glance that one of the 3 had cultivation in the 4 heavens of the Imperial Sky realm, and the remaining 2 had cultivation that was hard to discern. You don't have to think about it to know which one is the city lord. But when Zhou Hanmo and the 3 of them saw Su Xingzhou, their spirits were greatly shaken. Ordinary people. No cultivation. Impossible, absolutely impossible. That can only be because the cultivation of this Su family ancestor is too high, so high that they cannot feel it at all. This made Jiang Fei and He Yuqing feel even more bitter in their hearts. When facing the Mansion Lord, the 2 of them could still feel the terrifying power of the Mansion Lord. But now this Su family ancestor stands in front of him, feeling as if he doesn't exist. This is too scary, isn't it? I'm afraid this kind of strength has already far surpassed the Lord. It seems that the strong aura before should have been emitted by this Su family ancestor. The two of them glanced at each other and both saw the discomfort in their hearts. For such a strong person, without knowing the other person's temper, if one accidentally offends the other person, the three of them may not be able to leave the Su family gate today. As for suspecting the authenticity of Su Xingzhou's identity, such a strong person wouldn't have come to deceive such a small family. Jiang Fei, He Yucheng, and Zhou Hanmo have met the ancestors of the Su family. Three people salute directly. Although Jiang Fei and He Yucheng thought a lot, it was just a fleeting moment. But Zhou Hanmo didn't have so many ideas, he was just shocked that Su Xingzhou looked like an ordinary person. Su Xingzhou raised his hand directly and controlled his spiritual energy to lift the three of them up. This action further confirmed the thoughts in Jiang Fei and He Yucheng's hearts. Three Taoist friends, you're welcome. I just returned to my family and haven't had a chance to visit Lord Zhou yet. I didn't expect Lord Zhou to come in person. I'll have to rely on Lord Zhou's care in the future. At this moment, Zhou Hanmo also realized that this Su family ancestor seemed to be an ordinary person, but in fact, his cultivation was too low to see through. Su Laozu laughed and said that in the future, Qinyan City will still rely on the Su family. If Su Laozu needs any help, please feel free to speak up and we will do our best to assist you. Zhou Hanmo also felt helpless, as staying in Qinyan City could have its pros and cons. The benefit is that Qinyan City will definitely develop in the future. Of course, the downside is also obvious, that is, if the city lord lacks strength, many things may not be convenient to do. Although I am backed by the Zhou dynasty, the sky is high and the emperor is far away. If there is an accident in Qinyan City, we may still be able to catch the banquet when the royal court arrives. After a period of courtesy, Zhou Hanmo and the three of them left the Su mansion. Until he was about to leave, he didn't notice any abnormalities in the incarnation of nature, so Su Xingzhou nodded secretly. It seems that if one goes out in the future, they can directly use the incarnation of nature without attracting the attention of others. Subsequently, Jiang Fei and He Yucheng left Qinyan City. Now the two have confirmed that the strong person is Su Xingzhou, and the rest is no longer important. Compared to those who are carefree and alone, this type of family powerhouse may have some concerns in their actions and may not pose a significant threat to Qinyan City. If such powerful individuals are allowed to act recklessly in the city, the entire Qinyan City will fall into chaos. But through the conversation just now, the three of them also roughly understood that Su Xingzhou has a relatively gentle personality. If it's disguised, then they have no choice. The mission to Qinyan City this time was almost completed, so the two of them went back. Since the fusion of the Holy Communion, Su Ziyuan has taken out all the cultivation resources in his family's inventory, and combined with his ancestors' elixirs, he has opened them up for those with family bloodlines. Even the servants of the Su family couldn't understand this move. Is the Su family giving up on themselves? Think ahead and plan your own future path. The people of the Su family have felt unprecedented opportunities and are constantly practicing, hoping to improve their strength through this. After all, there are such good conditions now that even a pig can grow flowers. If I don't work hard to cultivate myself, I'm really sorry to my ancestor. Su Ziyuan looked at the efforts of his tribe and felt relieved in his heart. He knew that this opportunity to integrate the Holy Communion was a significant turning point for the Su family, and as long as they could seize this opportunity, the Su family would surely rise. When the news of the Su family opening up all resources for their members to cultivate spread, there was an uproar outside. This has further confirmed the news that the Su family has begun to come to an end. Even some servants recruited by the Su family have left the Su family. Quickly, more than 20 days passed. Tomorrow is the time for the three races to compete. Xingzhou has already broken through to the 4 heavens of the divine realm. The check that IN rewards these days have been the same resources as before. The 3 supreme elders and Su Jiwu have both broken through 2 small realms. And Su Ziyuan and Su Jirui also broke through to the imperial sky realm without any obstacles. At this point, the Su family already has 6 warriors from the imperial sky realm. Even in some big cities, it cannot be considered weak. Among the younger generation of the Su family, Su Hao has already broken through to the 3 heavens of the Linghai realm. The others have also broken through 2 or 3 small boundaries. The overall strength of the Su family can be said to have reached a new height. Today is a relatively important day in Qingyun City. The 3-month auction of Wanbao building has opened. Wanbao Tower is a store opened by the Wanbao Chamber of Commerce for external transactions. The transactions of Wanbao Tower involve various fields, including medicinal herbs, weapons, elixirs, secret books, and all other items related to cultivation. Unlike other stores, Wanbao Tower regularly holds auctions. The items auctioned at auctions are generally at a higher level than those traded in the store. The Wanbao Chamber of Commerce is one of the top powers in the Xuanhuan realm. It can be said that as long as there is a place where people live, there is the existence of Wanbao Tower. Therefore, Wanbao Tower has gathered a huge wealth. Of course, the strength of Wanbao Tower is not only reflected in commerce, but they also possess extremely terrifying martial arts skills. Even the owners of small towns like Qingyun City are cultivators of the 3 heavens in the imperial sky realm. Before the auction started, many people rushed to the Wanbao Tower. There are also rumors that this auction will have a 4th level pill to break the air pill auction. Breaking Sky Pill. A 4th level pill that can help peak warriors in the Spirit Sea realm increase their success rate of breaking through the imperial sky realm by 80%. Chapter 9. Auction Fair. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This type of pill usually only appears in prefectures or larger cities, and the number of times it appears in cities like Qingyun City is rare. Along the path of martial arts, the imperial sky realm can be said to be a hurdle. Once you break through, you can explore the world. To break through, one needs the support of talent and techniques. Of course, if one's talent is not enough, using elixirs or other cultivation resources is also possible. And the Breaking Sky Pill is a shortcut to break through the imperial sky realm. It was soon time for the auction to begin. Even Su Zhilang, who has been practicing, came over with the spirit stone given by Su Jirui. Su Zhilang walked into the Wanbao Tower and was immediately shocked by the scene before him. The entire auction house is decorated in a magnificent manner, with brilliant lights illuminating every corner. Although I have been here many times, every time I come, I can't help but be shocked. How rich! True Qi sect. However, Su Zhilang believes that the Su family can also achieve it in the future. Shout, isn't this the 3rd elder of the Su family? Why, if you don't stay at home and practice quickly, you still have time to participate in the auction. Su Zhilang, who had just entered, turned around and saw that it was Lu Zong, the elder of the Lu family. Lu Zong is the cultivation of the 5 heavens in the Linghai realm, but now he has reached the peak of the Linghai realm. If it were in the past, I would still argue a few words with Lu Zong. The strength of the two is no longer at the same level, and the gap will continue to widen in the future. I no longer have any ideas to refute. After all, continuing to argue will only waste my time and energy. It's better to focus your energy on your own cultivation and strive to improve your strength. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to keep up with the cultivation speed of my clan members. So without looking back, he left and found a spot to quietly wait for the start of the auction. The purpose of coming to the auction this time is very simple, and that is consumption. Yes, that's right, consumption. Intense consumption. This is Su Jirui's order. With so many spirit stones, it's better to exchange them for other cultivation resources. Faced with Su Zhilang's silence, Lu Zong thought that Su Zhilang was afraid of his own Lu family. With a disdainful cold snort, he also walked towards the inside. In no time, a graceful middle-aged man walked up from the platform of the auction hall, who was Zhao Yang, the chief auctioneer of the Tianbao pavilion. Seeing Zhao Yang come out, everyone quieted down. Zhao Yang doesn't come out to host every auction, only when there are significant treasures will he be used for auction. It seems that the news coming out from outside is true. Zhao Yang stood on the stage, his gaze scanning the crowd below, and with a slight smile, he said, "Welcome everyone to the auction of Wanbao Tower. Today, our Wanbao Tower has brought you an unprecedented feast, and we hope you can have something to gain." As Zhao Yang's words fell, the auction officially began. I saw a maid from an auction house slowly walking up to the auction table with a jade plate containing auction items. The first auction item, the third order spiritual weapon, Xuanhuan sword. Starting price, 200,000 lower grade spirit stones, with no less than 1,000 lower grade spirit stones added each time. As soon as Zhao Yang's words fell, the audience below gasped for breath. The first auction item is a third order spiritual artifact. It seems that this time it's really the right one. Nima, third level spiritual weapon, I really want it, but unfortunately I can't afford it. You should know that third order spiritual weapons are generally used by warriors in the Spirit Sea realm. And not every warrior in the Spirit Sea realm can have it. As far as the Su family is concerned, only the clan leader and the 3 supreme elders have third order spiritual weapons. Weapons can greatly enhance a warrior's strength. 20,000 lower grade spirit stones. Someone immediately shouted for a bid from the audience. I'll give you 250,000 lower grade spirit stones. Just a 250,000 yuan lower grade spirit stone, my Lu family is bidding 300,000 yuan lower grade spirit stone. In an instant, other warriors who still wanted to bid stopped directly. One reason is that the Lu family has been developing vigorously recently and cannot afford to provoke trouble. Secondly, since the Lu family has come to an end, the Li family and other families will definitely take action. At this time, there are basically no ordinary martial artists to deal with. Elder Li smiled and said, Elder Lu Zong still can't hold his breath. He's starting to take action now. My Li family is offering a lower grade spirit stone of 400,000 yuan. Lu Zong looked at the elder of the Li family and said, my Lu family is going to order the third level spiritual weapon. 500,000 lower grade spiritual stones. At this moment, Zhao Yang suddenly spoke up, okay, the Lu family is bidding 500,000 yuan for a lower grade spirit stone. Is there anything higher? Zhao Yang knew that 500,000 lower grade spirit stones were far from the price of this third order spiritual artifact. The Li family offered a lower grade spirit stone of 500,000 yuan. The Lord's Mansion offers a lower grade spirit stone of 550,000 yuan. The successive bids from the Li family and the Lord's Mansion made Lu Zong's face not very attractive. Quickly, the price reached 800,000 yuan for the lower grade spirit stone. This price is almost the limit of this Xuanhuan sword. This is the price offered by the Li family, and the Li family and the Lord's Mansion have long since stopped bidding. Lu Zong gritted his teeth and said, my Lu family is bidding 850,000 yuan for a lower grade spirit stone. The Lu family has a relatively poor background compared to the other 3 major families. Therefore, this third order spiritual weapon is very important for the Lu family. The elder of the Li family chuckled and said, the Lu family is indeed powerful. Our Li family has withdrawn. Zhao Yang struck the hammer in a timely manner and said, 850,000 yuan for the lower grade spirit stone. The Lu family has offered 850,000 yuan for the lower grade spirit stone. Is there anything higher? Lu Zong was waiting for Zhao Yang to continue hammering when suddenly Su Zhilang's voice came out. The voice was light, but everyone heard it. The Su family offered 850,001 lower-grade spirit stones. Su Zhilang gave a playful smile. Lu Zong suddenly turned around and saw that it was Su Zhilang. Su Zhilang, your Su family's assets are almost depleted. You still have time to participate in the bidding. Do you have any spirit stones? He couldn't help but sneer. Su Zhilang didn't even glance at Lu Zong and said, I won't bother Elder Lu anymore. You. Humph, my Lu family is bidding 860,000 yuan for a lower-grade spirit stone. Su family, 860,001 lower-grade spirit stones. Su Zhilang, you bully people too much. Lu Zong almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This Nima is too infuriating. Every time I bid, I add 1,000 lower-grade spirit stones. Lu family, 900,000 inferior spirit stones. Su family, 900,000 lower-grade spirit stones. Lu family, 1 million inferior spirit stones. Lu Zong gritted his teeth and said it out. Everyone present could feel that Lu Zong's anger was about to be suppressed. Su family, 1,001,000 lower-grade spirit stones. Su Zhilang still said lukedly. Su Zhilang, you're looking for death. If it weren't for being inside the Wanbao building, Lu Zong might have already taken action. Wanbao Tower has the rules of Wanbao Tower. That means you cannot take action inside the Wanbao building, otherwise you will be on the blacklist of Wanbao building and compensate for all losses. After Lu Zonggang finished speaking, it seemed like he couldn't hold back. A stream of blood gushed out of his throat and his face turned red. Immediately, Lu Zongping paused and swallowed, glaring angrily at Su Zhilang, as if his eyes were about to burst out with fire. P.S. The levels of spiritual weapons and elixirs are from level 1 to level 9. Exchange ratio of spirit stones. 1 Holy Spirit Stone equals 100 Ultimate Spirit Stone equals 10,000 Top Grade Spirit Stone equals 100,000 Middle Grade Spirit Stone equals 100,000 Lower Grade Spirit Stone. If there are Spirit Stones that are not upgraded, they will be considered as Lower Grade Spirit Stones. Chapter 10. Breaking the Sky Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 1,001,000 lower-grade spirit stones. The Su family is bidding for 1,001,000 lower-grade spirit stones. Is there anything higher? Zhao Yang struck the hammer and his mood surged. The price at which the third order spiritual weapon can be sold has exceeded Zhao Yang's expectations. Lu Zongzhang opened his mouth and wanted to increase the price. But considering that the price has already exceeded 1 million yuan, coupled with another Su Zhilang causing trouble. I'm afraid I can't take this Xuanhuan sword anymore. Lu Zong closed his eyes directly and secretly felt fierce in his heart. When the three clans had a big competition, they would definitely make the Su family look better. Seeing that Lu Zong had given up on continuing to raise the price, Zhao Yang directly ended the bidding for Xuanhuan sword. 1,001,000 lower-grade spirit stones for the second time. 1,001,000 lower-grade spirit stones for the third time. Transaction. Congratulations to the Su family for obtaining the third-level spiritual weapon, the Xuanhuan sword. After the transaction, the maid walked directly off the stage. Immediately after, another maid came up, also holding a jade plate containing auction items. Auction items can be traded in the back end at any time. However, Su Zhilang was not in a hurry and continued to wait for the next auction item. The second auction item, 10 pounds of starry iron. The starting price is 100,000 yuan for lower-grade spirit stones, and each additional price must not be less than 1,000 yuan for lower-grade spirit stones. Surprisingly, it is starry iron, a precious refining material with extremely high hardness and toughness, which is very suitable for making various spiritual weapons. Sleeping trough. There are 10 pounds of starry iron. My refining materials have been found. When they heard that the second auction item had produced 10 pounds of star iron, the crowd below was also shocked. The quality of this auction is very high. 120,000 inferior spirit stones. 150,000 lower-grade spirit stones. In the end, Su Zhilang won 10 pounds of star iron at a price of 1,000 lower-grade spirit stones more than Lu Zong. Zhao Yang struck the hammer and said, "Congratulations to the Su family for obtaining 10 pounds of star iron." Next is the third auction item, Hualing Chao. Soon, we arrived at the final auction item. This is also the most anticipated auction item for everyone. Even the people of the Li family and the Lord's mansion sat up straight. Although they have participated in auctions several times before, they are all optional items. The final finishing item is their goal. Zhao Yang smiled mysteriously and took a delicate jade vase from the maid behind him. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last auction item today and also our most precious treasure." His voice was full of temptation. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the jade bottle, waiting for Zhao Yang to say the 3 words of the broken sky pill. "Stop talking nonsense, this is the 4th level pill, breaking the sky pill. The starting price is 1 million yuan for the lower grade spirit stone, and each additional price must not be less than 10,000 yuan for the lower grade spirit stone." Hiss. It's really a breaking sky pill. I don't know who will receive it this time. I have to say, the Su family really made a big move today. They auctioned off all the items. I wonder if they still have the financial resources to participate in the final auction. After hearing Zhao Yang's confirmed voice, everyone below breathed heavily. Many people were even more amazed and made a sound. Although I have received the message, when I truly confirm at this moment, I still feel like I am dreaming. However, no one had the intention of taking action to grab it. The last person with such an idea had their ashes thrown away. 1,010,000 lower-grade spirit stones. 1.1 million lower-grade spirit stones. More people participated in the auction this time. Some people with some strength, even though they knew they couldn't get it, couldn't help but participate in the bid. The people of several major families and the Lord's mansion have all calmed down, and not a single family has started to take action yet. Because they know that the people participating now are just playing around and the real competition has not started yet. And Lu Zong looked at Su Zhilang with hatred. If his gaze could kill someone, Su Zhilang would probably have died countless times today. Today, the items that Lu Zong wanted to take several times were all snatched away by Su Zhilang for a price higher than 1,000 lower-grade spirit stones. The key is that even in the Wanbao building, one cannot do anything, and the price cannot be compared, which has made Lu Zong very angry. Quickly, the price reached 3 million lower-grade spirit stones. The elder of the Li family saw that the price was almost the same, so he directly added 500,000 lower-grade spirit stones. The Li family offered a lower-grade spirit stone of 3.5 million yuan. Hiss. Adding 500,000 lower-grade spirit stones directly is really terrifying. The Li family has taken action, and other families and the Lord's mansion are also likely to come to an end. It seems that we won't get this Pokong Dan. Upon hearing the Li family's offer, some praised it, while others were unwilling but helpless. As expected, the Li family had just made a bid, and other families and the Lord's mansion began to bid one after another. The Lu family bid 3.6 million yuan for the lower-grade spirit stone. The Lord's mansion offers 3.65 million lower-grade spirit stones. The Li family offered a lower-grade spirit stone of 3.8 million yuan. Originally, an ordinary 4th-level pill was worth only about 2 to 3 million lower-grade spirit stones. Pills like the Breaking Sky pill, which can help people break through, have much higher value. The most important thing is that this type of pill generally does not circulate outside, belonging to the existence of value but no market. The ability to auction the broken hollow pill this time was suddenly brought out by Wanbao Tower, otherwise it wouldn't be just people from Qingyun City participating in the auction. The Su family offered a lower-grade spirit stone of 3,810,000 yuan. Elderly of the Li family clearly paused, what a familiar plot. But now the person who has been discounted has been replaced by himself. The family refused to compromise and soon the price reached 5 million yuan for the lower-grade spirit stone. At this point, the people of the Lord's mansion had already hesitated, and the price was already too high for them. They belong to the Zhou dynasty, and there is more than one way to obtain the Pokong Dan. There is no need to stubbornly fight here. The several major families in Qingyun City are different. If it weren't for Su Xingzhou coming to the Su family, among these families in Qingyun City, the highest cultivation would have been the peak of the Linghai realm. If any family can capture this sky-breaking pill at this time, it means that soon, this family will have the combat power of the Imperial Sky Realm. This is definitely the first family in Qingyun City. With the presence of powerful players in the Imperial Sky Realm, even if the spirit stones spent on auctioning the breaking sky pill are more, they can still be earned back later. And it can also take the family to the next level. Therefore, these major families have made every effort to bid. Of course, Su Zhilang is still leisurely bidding. Yukong Realm. There are already several of my own families, and even more so, my ancestors and Yi Jinfeng are sitting here. And I'm also going to break through to the Imperial Sky Realm. So, Su Zhilang really doesn't have any intention of taking this sky-breaking pill. I only bid for the sake of liveliness. If other families spend more unjustified spirit stones because of themselves, then there is nothing I can do. After all, it was the price he shouted out himself, not forced by himself. Thinking of this, Su Zhilang continued to offer a price. The Su family offered a price of 6 million lower-grade spirit stones.